The 200-mile rule works. If you saw my last video that dropped 2 days ago on Friday, you know the system saves your sanity, saves you money, and stops the travel burnout. But I already know what you're thinking. Nancy, will I get bored staying in one place for 3 weeks? What if I hate the campground? Or what if I want to go cross country? Those are the exact problems I ran into. Today, I'm sharing the 4 most common objections to the 200-mile system and the real-world solutions. I'm addressing the objections here separately because these questions are so common that if you watch my last video, they're probably already in your head. Let me address the most common objections I hear. Objection 1, don't you get bored staying in one place for 3 weeks? Honestly, never, or at least almost never, because I'm not staying in one campground staring at my RV walls for 21 days. I'm using that campground as a home base to explore an entire region. During my 3 weeks in the Keys, I visited a different beach every few days. I went to Key West twice. I explored Crane Point Museum. I took the dogs to different dog parks. I tried 6 different restaurants, and I paddled in different mangrove channels every day. I was busy. If anything, 3 weeks wasn't enough. The key is choosing your location wisely. Don't park yourself in the middle of nowhere with nothing to do. Park yourself near a hub with options. Objection 2. What if I hate the campground and I'm stuck there for 3 weeks? This is why I do so much research up front using Campendium. I read reviews, I look at photos, I call and ask questions. I'm picky. But yes, this did happen to me once last year. I booked a campground that looked great online, but the night before I got there, I checked the reviews again, and boy, had they changed since I last looked, and it wasn't pretty. But I'd already paid for the campground, so I nervously decided to try it for myself, knowing I could leave if I hated it. And it ended up being one of my favorite campgrounds. The bad reviews were from people who thought they were checking into a resort, when this place was actually more like a remote backwoods fishing camp with an interesting history involving a beautiful lake to paddleboard on and prohibition mobsters. Needless to say, I stayed and had a great time. I've stayed in hundreds of campgrounds over the years, and I've never even had to bail on one. That's because I'm picky up front, I do my homework, I ask questions, I read reviews carefully. But that's also why I always have a backup plan. I keep a few nearby alternatives saved in Campendium just in case a campground doesn't turn out to be a good fit. Objection 3. 200 miles seems limiting. What if I want to go cross country? You absolutely can. You just do it in 200-mile segments. Cross country is about 3,000 miles. That's 15 200-mile days. If you stay 21 days in 3 or 4 locations along the way, you've stretched that trip over 3 months instead of 2 weeks. But you've actually seen the country instead of just driving past it. I did Orlando to the Keys this year, 380 miles. Next year, I'm going west to Arizona, Utah, Wyoming, and Montana, 3,500 miles. I'll break it into chunks and enjoy every single segment instead of white-knuckling it across the country in marathon drives. When I was doing the campground hopping approach, I'd drive past signs for interesting attractions and think, that looks so cool, but I don't have time. Or I'd hear about a great local restaurant and not go because I was leaving the next day. Now I have time. If someone mentions a hidden gem, I can check it out. If I discover a great hiking trail, I can go back on a day where the weather is good or at sunrise. If I love a beach, I can visit it 3 times. Speed doesn't equal more experiences. Presence equals more experience. Before I finish up with the last objection, let me ask you a question. Are we connected through email? If you want updates on when I post a new video or on where I might be in real time, why not get on my email list? You can do that on my website at makingmyownlane.com. I'll leave a link in the description and see you on the inside. Okay, here it is. The last and probably most practical and totally valid objection. Objection 4. My schedule doesn't allow for 21-day stays. And you're right. Not everybody has the flexibility to stay 3 weeks in one place like I do. Maybe you're still working full-time and you only have 2-week vacation blocks. Maybe you're meeting family or friends at specific dates. Maybe you have medical appointments or other commitments. I get it. Here's the good news. The system is flexible. You can absolutely adapt it to your lifestyle, then adjust the numbers. The principle still works. Maybe you do 14-day stays with 150-mile drives. Maybe you do 10-day stays with 100-mile drives. The magic isn't in the exact numbers, it's in the ratio. The spirit of the system is move less, stay longer, drive shorter distances. You can scale it to whatever works for your life. So there you have it, the answers to the most common roadblocks to adopting a slower, more intentional RV lifestyle. The 200-mile rule isn't about being trapped. It's about being prepared and learning to enjoy the journey. If you missed the first part of this series, make sure to check out How I Plan My Stress-Free RV Travel Days. Head there next to get the complete system and see exactly why these objections are so easy to overcome. Again, I'll put a link in the description for you. Head there next to get the complete system, the 4 apps I use, my step-by-step planning process, and exactly why these objections are so easy to overcome when you have a solid system. These little guys don't worry about objections. They just want treats and new places to sniff. Honestly, we should all be a little more like them, don't you think? Speaking of overcoming boredom, next week I'm taking you through my top 5 favorite day trips that I've taken since I started traveling full time. These are the short excursions within that 50-mile radius of my home base that make staying put for weeks at a time feel like the ultimate vacation. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss that day trip video, and let me know in the comments below, which of these 4 objections have you struggled with the most? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the road.